Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In the past year, the three largest banks in this country, JP Morgan, Chase, Citigroup, and Bank of America, have admitted to breaking the law and have settled with the government for a combined $35 billion. Now, as Judge Rakoff of the Southern District of New York has noted, the law on this is clear. No corporation can break the law unless an individual within that corporation broke the law. Yet, despite the misconduct at these banks that generated tens of billions of dollars in settlement payments by the companies, not a single senior executive at these banks has been criminally prosecuted. Now, I know that your agencies can't bring prosecutions directly, but you are supposed to refer cases to the Justice Department when you think individuals should be prosecuted. So can you tell me how many senior executives at these three banks you have referred to the Justice Department for prosecution?
Well, Senator, I don't know the answer to that question, but I want to pick up on something you just said, because I think it's actually quite important, that although failures of the sort that have resulted in these big fines, criminal and civil, almost always result from problems in organizations, because there are many ways to catch things.
Governor Tarullo, I'm sorry.
Hold on, Senator, if I could. There often are individuals who can clearly be identified as responsible, and although, as you know, we don't have criminal prosecutorial power, what we do have is the power to insist that firms either discharge current employees who have been implicated in this, even if they haven't been criminally prosecuted, which we've done in the past couple of cases, or, as we are doing now, conducting investigations under the authorities that are already in the law that would allow us to ban these people from working for any.
So I take it what you're saying, Governor Tarullo, is that you don't know of any criminal prosecutions in these three banks that the Fed has recommended.
Well,
you have investigated enough to know that these banks are responsible. They have admitted to wrongdoing. They have signed up for $35 billion in a settlement, and no one has been referred?
Well, Senator, we've shared all the information that the Department of Justice needed, and I think the Justice Department has probably made its own assessment on both sets of criminal and civil approaches.
So you're saying you have referred people for criminal prosecution?
No, we have provided information.
But you have not actually referred someone for criminal prosecution. You know, I want to be clear about the contrast here. After the savings and loan crisis in the 1970s and the 1980s, the government brought over 1,000 criminal prosecutions and got over 800 convictions. The FBI opened nearly 5,500 criminal investigations because of referrals from banking investigators and regulators. So if we didn't even limit it to these three banks, how many prosecutions have you all regulated? You know, what we have to remember here is the main reason that we punish illegal behavior is for deterrence, you know, to make sure that the next banker who's thinking about breaking the law remembers that a guy down the hall was hauled out of here in handcuffs when he did that. These civil settlements don't provide deterrence. The shareholders for the companies pay the settlement. Senior management doesn't pay a dime. And in fact, if you're like Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan Chase, you might even get an $8.5 million raise for the settlement of negotiating such a great settlement when your company breaks the law. So without criminal prosecutions, the message to every Wall Street banker is loud and clear. If you break the law, you are not going to jail, but you might end up with a much bigger paycheck. So no one should be above the law. If you steal $100 on Main Street, you're probably going to jail. If you steal $1 billion on Wall Street, you darn well better go to jail too.
I want to follow up on Senator Warren's observations regarding the Justice Department and criminal activity in financial institutions or whatever. I realize that you're regulators, you're not prosecutors. But if there's $35 billion more or less in fines and settlements because of criminal conduct, and there's no justice, justice is important for the big and the well-being and also the small. Something's wrong with the Justice Department. And people shouldn't be able, whoever they are, not just financial institutions, should be able to buy their way out of, for culpability, especially when it's so strong, it defies rationality. You know, I agree with her on that.